Don't show this video to Eric Trump. My name's Jay Black. I'm a comedian. I do 2 videos about news and politics every single day. And today we're doing something a little bit different because I am currently on a plane to Canada, or as Eric Trump calls it, Canada. If you're a fan of the channel, you know that we talk about Eric quite often here on the channel, and I thought I'd put together a supercut of some of the best jokes. If you're new here, consider sticking around. We have lots of fun. And I meant what I said earlier. Please don't share this with Eric. He's already got me blocked on Twitter, and you know someone had to explain how to do that to him. Guys, it's not even noon yet, and already the L's are piling up for Donald Trump like frowny faces on Eric's spelling tests. Barack Obama has always been to Donald Trump what Ivanka is to Eric. Smarter, cooler, and infinitely less likely to get his head stuck in a honeypot. And for that, Donald Trump has always hated him. The universe can be cruel, but as Eric Trump proves, it also has a sense of humor. To put an end to the cottage industry of people filming algae blooms as thick as Eric's gingivitis, now imagine that you are the dimmest kind of thick-skulled, oxygen-starved, molasses-brained bigot. Which part of the word transgenic would make you most upset? Eric Trump was accused of DMing an insider to see if any of the fights were fixed. He has very strongly denied that allegation, but it would be the most Eric way to cheat, wouldn't it? If the Trump family is a mall, then Eric is a Dillard's that got turned into a spirit of Halloween. Eric is calling Donald from a burner phone in the hopes that he'll actually pick up. This is a man who's still relitigating the 2020 election. A man who, despite not knowing Eric's middle name, seems to know the full biography of every reporter who ever wronged him by telling the truth. And he gets more confused than Eric doing a word jumble. He was absolutely disgusted by the algae in it, almost as disgusted as he is during Eric's annual birthday hug. In the third quarter, the Knicks were down 29 points. That's the same score Eric had on his SATs. A Trump hasn't been booed that much since Eric competed in a spelling bee. Trump is doing to justice what genetics did to Eric's gums. Wait, hold on. Just like how Trump felt when he followed Don Jr. with Eric, it gets even worse. And as sure as the sun rises in the east or Eric is confused by fractions, look me in the eyes, MAGA, and tell me he's still sharp enough to be president. Because at this point, I'd take Eric over him, and Eric still jumps out of the way whenever he sees a train on a movie theater. Dave Rubin now hosts a podcast extolling the virtues of a man so soaked in evil that even his DNA was affected. Unlike Eric Trump looking at the kids' menu at Denny's, this is a puzzle that's easy for us to connect the dots on. This would be like Eric passing a math test on the first try. It just doesn't happen. And the only exercise he gets is when he leaps out of his desk to run over and shut the door when he sees Eric coming. He's started wars without Congress's permission. He's bombed civilians on fishing boats. He's taken Eric out to the forest and left him there like 200 times.
Very thick, you think of it as a very sophisticated form of rubber.
Okay, that one isn't really that bad. I just like to post it because you know when he thinks about sophisticated rubber, he wishes he had worn one the night Eric was conceived. It went public, and now we know it lost $400 million. In a single quarter. That's what the Trump organization calls pulling an Eric. Now he's taking dementia tests more often than he takes DNA tests to try to prove that Eric isn't his. Don Jr.'s new bride, Bettina Anderson, is a lovely woman whose only major flaw seems to be she's as good at picking out men as Eric Trump is at quantum field theory. He's golfed 14 times since the war began. That's 14 times more than he's hugged Eric. Donald Trump was elected in part because he promised to get rid of the debt, but like all the times he promised Eric that he would show up at his birthday party, he reneged on it. They can't investigate him for any tax fraud. They can't investigate his organization either. Not even Eric can be investigated, which is honestly fair. He probably ate his tax returns. I don't think we can blame him for that. Which is odd because Trump usually only cares about himself, and you would think that the father of Eric Trump would be very concerned about birth defects.